Good afternoon everyone. Chiyotaikai Ryūji, born April 29, 1976 as Ryūji Hiroshima in Chitose, Hokkaido, is a Japanese former sumo wrestler. He made his professional debut in 1992 and reached the top Mikuchi division in 1997. He held the second highest rank of Ozeki or champion for 65 consecutive tournaments from 1999 until 2009, making him the longest-serving Ozeki in the modern era. He won 3 top division Yusho or tournament championships, and was a runner-up on 7 other occasions. However, he also held the dubious record of being in danger of demotion from Ozeki 14 times. He wrestled for Kokino stable until his retirement in January 2010 at the age of 33. He remained in sumo as a coach at his stable, and became the head coach in August 2016 following the death of Chiyotaikai. Click on the bell. After his father's death, Chiyotaikai's family moved to Oita, which is considered his hometown and listed as such on the Banzuke ranking sheets. When he was 11, his mother remarried, to a local businessman. In May 2009, Chiyotaikai finally adopted his mother's remarried surname of Sudo as his own. He was an enthusiastic player of baseball and soccer as well as martial arts. He excelled at karate, and in judo he came third in the Old Japan Middle School Judo Championships. However, he also got into fights and petty crime as a member of a gang of youths. After graduating junior high school, he worked as a construction worker before he decided on his mother's prompting to apprentice himself to Kokino Oyakata, the former Chiyotaikai, the 58th Yokozuna and one of the strongest wrestlers in sumo history, who managed the Kokino stable. Kokino initially refused the new wrestler because of his bleached hair and obliged him to get a haircut before allowing him to join. Chiyotaikai was given his Shikona, wrestler name, in honor of his stable master and joined professional sumo in November 1992 and became a Sakitori in July 1995 upon entering the second highest Juryo division. He remained in Juryo for another 2 years, but after winning 2 Juryo championships in March and July 1997 he reached Mikuchi, the top division. In May 1998, Chiyotaikai was made Kamishibai and never left the Sanyaku ranks after that. He won the prestigious Technique Prize 3 times that year. In January 1999, he won his first top division championship, defeating Yokozuna Takanahana and Wakanahana on the last 2 days, and Wakanahana once again in a playoff. He had compiled a 3-tournament record of 32-13. And he was promoted to Ozeki after the tournament, the first newcomer to the rank since Masashimaru and Takanami 5 years earlier. Even though he had to bow out from his very first tournament that he fought as an Ozeki in March 1999 after breaking his nose, he retained his rank until November 2009. In July 2007 he broke Takanahana Kinshai's record of 50 tournaments at Ozeki rank, which had stood for over 25 years, and extended his record to 65 consecutive tournaments. Let's subscribe to the channel. The reverse side of his longevity as an Ozeki was his inability to achieve promotion to Yokozuna. After his first tournament win he performed at a rather mediocre level for some time, his next big success being the near winner in the January tournament of 2002. Where he lost a playoff to fellow Ozeki Tachi Azuma, having led going into the final day. After finishing as runner-up in May 2002 he then won his second championship in the next tournament in Nagoya. His first title since becoming an Ozeki was achieved losing just 1 match, his best ever result. However, he was able to win only 10 bouts in the next tournament, and following injury problems it took him until March 2003 to achieve his third and final tournament victory. After finishing as a runner-up in July 2003, September 2003 and March 2004, He struggled again until the November 2005 tournament, where he was runner-up for the sixth time. After another lean couple of years, in November 2007 he was the tournament co-leader until the 14th day when he lost to Hikuo. He injured his elbow during this match and had to default on the final day. He was still troubled by the injury in the January 2008 tournament and withdrew after losing his first 7 bouts. He was never again to produce a winning score in double figures. Chiyotaikai's 2-13 score in March 2009 was the worst record ever compiled by an Ozeki, and meant he was Kataban, in danger of demotion from Ozeki status, for a record 13th time in May. After bringing a 7-7 record into the final day's competition, he managed to win his last match and thereby return to full Ozeki status. He had been restricted by a left side ache and high blood sugar levels, and sat out the regional tour in April due to a fractured rib. In September 2009 Chiyotaikai withdrew from the tournament after suffering 8 defeats in the first 10 days. He had an injury to his left knee in addition to his elbow problem, and commented, "I have no power to fight once I get in the ring." Kataban for the 14th time in the Kyushu tournament in November, he won his first 2 bouts but then lost 8 in a row. His demotion from Ozeki being confirmed on day 10 when he was lifted out by Asashiro. 10. He withdrew from the tournament after this defeat, but announced that he would return at Sekawake rank in January to try to win necessary 10 bouts designated by the JSA that would allow him to regain his Ozeki status. He stated he would retire if he failed to achieve this. After 3 straight losses in the January 2010 tournament, Chiyotaikai announced his retirement from sumo. His final match was against his longtime Ozeki rival Keiyo, who also broke the record for most Makuuchi wins in this bout. "I gave myself an ultimatum, so I don't have any regrets. I just don't have the power to continue wrestling my brand of sumo anymore," said Chiyotaikai. He remained as a coach at his stable under the Toshiori name of Sonoyama Oyakata. He had his Danpatsushiki, or formal retirement ceremony, at the Ryagaku Kakujikan on October 2, 2010, shortly after the death of Chiyano Fuji on July 31, 2016. Chiyotaikai was confirmed as the new head coach of Kokano Stable, changing his name from Sonoyama to Kokano Oyakata. In January 2021 he and several of his wrestlers tested positive for COVID-19. The whole of the Kokano stable sat out the New Year tournament. Chiyotaikai was somewhat above average in size, 1.81 meters/158 kilograms. But was nonetheless a very agile fighter who preferred quick decisions by Oshi Sumo. He was known mostly for his explosive charge at the beginning of his matches, the Tuki-ai, and his trademark barrage of forward-thrusting hand slaps, Tsuppari. Indeed, he was so famous for them that he was sometimes criticized by sumo fans for being a one-trick pony. If Chiyotaikai's opponents managed to grab hold of his mawashi, he usually lost the match. His most common winning kimurite was oshidashi, which accounted for roughly a third of his wins. He also regularly used hataki komi, the slap down, and tsuki dashi, the thrust out. Only around 5% of his victories were achieved by yorikiri, the most common overall technique in sumo.